everybody, how you doing? My name's Dave, and if you've run out of funny catchphrases, you can call me Daveypoo, the mobile music minstrel. How you doing? We're doing another apeMatrix video because everybody commented so much and said so many nice things about the last apeMatrix video. I decided to do another one for you. So hey, just call me, giving you what you want. Anyway, I'm starting here with AUM because I'm doing something different today. I am running my new Behringer Model D into AUM. Now, the reason I'm not going straight into apeMatrix is because the Behringer Model D is a mono synth. That means that it only sends a mono signal, not stereo, not left and right, just one. So, but it does have two outputs. It has a high gain output and a low gain output. Now, what I'm using to connect it into the iPad is a Behringer line to USB. On one end of the cable is two mono quarter-inch cables, and on the other end is a USB port. What I did was I'm taking both ends of the line and I'm using both outputs from the Behringer, but I want to split the signal when I get it into the iPad, and I only want to use one side. And I don't know how to do that in apeMatrix. So if anybody knows how, put it in the comments below, because I'd love to skip the step of using AUM and just do it all in apeMatrix. But until I have figured that out, right now you can see here that I took the hardware input and I'm only taking the right channel, and it's taking the right channel and it's bouncing it to both sides of my headphones. So I have a nice thick sound, and I'm sending it to apeMatrix, where I've already got a jam set up. So you can see I have a bunch of things routed here. I've got, from the top down on the left hand side, I've got BeatHawk, and BeatHawk is being controlled by Rosetta XOX. I got a beat here going. I've added a little mutation to the hi-hat. What that does is give it some variance so that it's not samey all the time. It adds some notes here, drops some notes there, gives it some variety. And I've got a little bit of that on the snare drum, again, to give that some variety. Okay. Below that, I have Galileo. Now, Galileo is currently being controlled by my keyboard here that's on the desk. Below that is Step Polyarp. Now, I was using that to run a bass line with Galileo, but I didn't like that as much, so I put the keyboard in. I'm going to add something in and use that to control the bass line of something else as we get going. Okay, below that, we've got NeoSoul keys. Now, that's being controlled by the on-screen keyboard. That's my clavinet here. Below NeoSoul keys is being also controlled by Rosetta cells, which we can check here in the matrix and make sure indeed it is being controlled by Rosetta cells. And below that, I've got the RX 950 grungifier, or whatever, dirt maker, however you want to put it. I love noise maker machines. I love things that add grit and dirt and all that. I have a bunch of them. I have DAW LP and I have DAW cassette and a number of others, and I really like them all. This one's great too. I've got the Behringer going through RE1 Space Echo, and that's a great app. It's a little bit twitchy. I think it could be dialed in a little bit. It can go a little haywire after it's crashed on me a few times. It doesn't behave all the time, but I love the idea. Dial in the code and it's priming. It sounds amazing. And then at the very bottom you can see the input from AUM for the Behringer. What we're going to do here is we're going to have a little jam. I'm going to show you some of the other parts of apeMatrix also. So down here you've got these three icons. You have the mixer, you have the menus for the MIDI options, and then you have the MIDI mapping. So or MIDI routing. So here is the mixer. Now I can control the volume of anything I've got coming in. So here's the Behringer coming into AUM. Okay, so I can get that exactly. Now if I want to get it back to 0, okay, let me go back and show you that. Okay, hold on, let me explain this to you. So if you double tap on the actual volume slider itself here, it'll bring up a little menu, and this is how you access the LFO, which is the three little dots in the upper right hand corner. This is the LFO section. Okay, we talked about that a lot in the last video, but here, if I tap where the value is and I need to reset it to 0, I can just go there, type 0, and it immediately resets it, makes it ready. So you can type in your exact value. The apesoft apps are really good at giving you that kind of customizability and directness. Like if you want to get to a numerical value, it's very easy to do that. So that's the mixer. Here in the middle is a menu. It's for MIDI options. Now the mixer's on the top there. The MIDI patch bay, we've seen that already. Okay, that's this other icon down on the bottom there. Okay, that's the MIDI patch bay. You also get that in this menu. MIDI destinations. Now this is if you're sending MIDI out of apeMatrix to, say, external hardware or maybe inter-app audio. I'm sorry, some other app on your iPad that doesn't connect, isn't an AUV3. Okay, you can control that there. MIDI monitor. This will give you the actual MIDI messages that are incoming. It would, I think, if I... well, it's not for me. It's supposed to. Maybe I'm not routing it correctly. apeMatrix doesn't do you any favors, so if you don't actually connect something, then it's not going to work just like that. If you know, and then you've got the clear audio connections, reset gains, clear MIDI connections, remove everything. Okay, your clearing out options. Okay, now let's do one more thing. If we go into the MIDI patch bay, we've talked about routing, but we haven't talked about these options along the bottom, these little funnels. These are your MIDI channel options for each of the individual instruments that you have, or AUV3s that you have going on in apeMatrix. So I can, select none of the channels. I can select all of the channels, and I can choose a key for the on-screen keyboard. A scale for the on-screen keyboard. I can transpose it. Okay, you've got all of your MIDI options per channel. So if you've ever been looking for those, they're down here at the little funnel. Okay, so I'm going to start this jam, and then we're going to route some things, and we're going to use the buses this time. Because I haven't really used the whole 2 other matrices that are on here. Haha, matrices. So, let's go back here, and let's listen to the groove I've got going on. So I went for more of a live drum sound this time than last time. Now that's a little dry, so I'm going to route this to bus 1, or bus A here, okay? Now, bus A, I'm going to send to the next matrix. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go out. Now you hear the doubling because I'm getting twice the signal, so I'm getting a little bit of a chorus effect or a doubling effect. Okay, so I'm going to add in a reverb. Let's do EOS, because I like EOS. Connect and show. Okay, we're just going to leave it on default for now. Now, I'm going to do the signal coming in from bus A and going to EOS. And now I have drums and reverb. Actually, you know what? We're gonna not do that. So here's another little tidbit. Pressing and holding on the little circle connector on the matrix and dragging up or down will adjust your gain, or your volume, or your loudness, whichever word you choose to use in this instance. So we're gonna have that. Now, what else? Let's go back to the other matrix. What else are we gonna send to that same reverb? Well, let's kick in the next instrument. Let's kick in the clavinet here. Ooh, that's off, isn't it? Let's reset that again. There it is. So again, nice and groovy, but it's a little dry. So let's go over to, let's send the output. I'm routing the Soul keys directly to the output and also through the RX950. So I'm going to put the RX950's output to the reverb. So only the dirty signal is going to the reverb. You know what? I'm going to change that on second thought. I'm going to switch that around. I'm going to send the clean signal only to the to the reverb and send the dirty signal straight out. Okay. See? Okay, sorry, I got carried away there. Okay, so now, let's do something interesting here. Let's add an instrument in that's going to play the bass line, first of all. So I've already got a bass line in step polyarp. Let's figure out what we're going to add here to play the bass line. Since we're doing a sort of a acid jazzy thing, what would be really cool as a bass? I think I'm going to go classic. Alright, well, for comparison's sake, let's go with Model D. What better? Alright, so let's back this up and see if we can find a sound that works. Oh, hold on. Reset you. That's a little low. I don't really like that. Let's try something else. Okay. So, now we got a bass line going. Now, let's use the other bus. So, I'm going to send the signal for Model D out bus B. And then over here, on the next one, the next matrix, I'm going to add in FAC chorus, connect and show. And I'm going to send B through that. We're going to turn that down a little bit. Alright, so now we've got a really groovy thing going on. The bass is a little hot here. Let's back that down. So, you can see here that it's very easy to get a lot going on. I'm running at, what, 63%. I've got an iPad Pro from 2017, a 12-inch. So, you're running a fair amount, and it's pushing, 50%. 50 to 60%, that's not bad at all. Now, the cool thing about the matrices is, as everything else, the buses, is that you can route anything you want. Now, anything I send to A or B is going to be through the chorus. So if I can send the clavinet through the chorus, I can send the bass through the reverb. Nope. I can send the drums through. You know, I can send the drums through RX 950. You know, we can really push all this stuff really hard. It's a little much. Alright, so there's some new things that you can do with apeMatrix. There's some of the new menus and your MIDI filters and moving with some of the buses. And, you know, there's so much here. You can go so deep. I mean, we didn't even really do anything with LFOs this video. apeMatrix goes so far in. I could spend days jamming out here with all this stuff. So thank you for joining me. I'm sorry I'm a little lackluster today, but you know, I wanted to get you guys something. I wanted to get you another apeMatrix video. So, you know, please like the video. Please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Please do all the standard YouTube stuff. Please, you know, go out of your way. Please, you know, go bake cookies for the local fire department. You know, please go help children and old ladies cross the street. Please, you know, go out and donate your time and do charitable things and be a good person. We should all just be good people. So, thanks a lot for joining me. We'll see you next time.